Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the PMIUAE chapter webinar session series. We will begin as usual with our regular time with 7:05. My name is Anshul and I'm from PMIUAE chapter. And today we are going to talk about a specific topic which will be introduced in some time, and with our esteemed speaker is also with us here. Welcome, Booger. Booger is going to take us through the particular topic, which definitely would be of good new interest to all of the PMI chapter members, as well as volunteers and the PMI also audience who are joining us from different parts of the world could be. So we will give some more time, 4 more minutes exemplary, to just allow the more people to come in and join us. Here we are going. So here we have more people joining. 30 people have joined so far with us. Welcome, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, from wherever you're joining from. Okay, Olimod, we have seen some messages that chat is disabled. Would you please open the chat for the people to start writing over there? We have 2 more minutes. We will start after 2 more minutes so that our rest of the friends would be able to make the best use of their own time. Just have a patience, guys, and then we will begin with our today's topic. We're seeing almost 39 people have come in so far. Guys, we are working on to enable the chat. Don't worry about it. We will enable the chat on the back end.
Hi, Anchal, please pass me the host so I can do it.
Yeah, Oli, I'm just trying to get it on, but not able to see the control where to pass it on.
Just go to my icon, that's PMIUAE chapter, to the participants that you see there, then make the host. That is, you got it?
So,
okay.
Yeah, I give
Thank you.
Right. Done. Okay, so then I think the chat is enabled. can try. Yep, I think we are seeing the chats now coming in through. So good. So good evening, good afternoon again, friends and dear colleagues from PMIUAE. So we are going to start today's webinar, and today's topic is citizen development, low code and no code industry. So as I introduce myself, my name is Anchal and I'm your moderator today for today's webinar, and I'm being joined with my colleagues at the events team at the back end with Olimu Jones and Bhavin. Before we begin, some of the housekeeping rules I would like to introduce so that everybody would be able to make best use of it. We have to expect the webinar would be somewhere around an hour and 15 minutes maximum. Before we launch our topic, we would like to set an agenda tonight, like after going through a brief introduction of our chapter and core webinar presentation, we will have a short time for question and answer after the webinar topic is over, where I and Booger will do our best to accommodate all the questions are coming from you. We encourage you to post all your thoughts, interaction on the chat, which we have enabled just now, and make the conversation as much as engaging. With regards to your questions regarding the topic, please post them specifically to the Q&A section. It will help us to organize it and to list them out. And it also, I will give a heads up to our esteemed speaker in terms of how many questions we are expecting to answer so that we can manage the time in best of our capabilities. So let me begin with the PMIUAE chapter introduction, and by sharing my slide, and we will begin over there. Oh, good. So try to make it. So as we know, we are the part of the Project Management Institute, and as a world leader, we work on the behalf of advanced project management profession worldwide. What it means is that we as a chapter, we are based primarily out of UAE and run 100% by the volunteers. We are proud that we are in the top 5 of all the chapters globally in terms of the number of members, and each day we are growing. We are passionate about project management as a practice, as a profession, as a development area, and networking and education. We dependent on you in order to make our chapter activities as interactive, as invigorating as possible. So please contribute to our activities through interesting talks, presentations, questions, and corporate sponsorship, and help us as a volunteer as well. PMIUAE chapter board members, as you can see, we have the president, Dr. Reda, over there, and rest of the event directors as well. You might have already met. Some of the people have already met in the face-to-face events, which we have done in the January as well. New and enhanced benefits of PMI chapter membership. As you can see, we work on the 4 pillars of networking, learning, knowledge sharing, and career growth plus events. So this series, what we are doing now is a part of the events part of the thing, and we are doing this as a part of diversified webinar section. We have our silver sponsors, Dubai Properties and Miras, and other collaboration partners, as you can see over the screen. This list will keep on growing over there. Information regarding the PDU. So most of the members who are going to, throughout this webinar will be present. They will be given 2 strategic PDUs. Those will be automatically credited to your PMI account within the 4 weeks. By any chance, if you don't see them, please drop an email to us into info@pmiua.org, and our marketing team and the membership team will definitely try to sort it out for yourself. Also, please note that you need to be engaged throughout this webinar in order to have those PDUs in your account. If any other more information you want to collect regarding our webinars or the specific topics or the certifications, please follow us on the social media. We have presence everywhere, and also you can visit our website, pmiua.org. So this was the introduction to the chapter, and then let me start our webinar topic by introducing our esteemed speaker. So let me introduce Booger. Booger Usmale is basically the person who is very interested in citizen development as a practice. He has working in the project management area near about 14 plus years now. He has handled the complex projects in different diversified areas like finance, telecom, pharmaceuticals, and energy industries, using both agile as well as the hybrid approaches, depending on the sectors as well. During the last 5 years, Ugar has lived in different 8 countries. So he's very much more of a traveler at the moment and engaged with a lot of international organizations, companies, and also do the events with the Europe, Middle East, and Asia as well. Currently, he also has delivered the projects on the consulting basis and also has delivered the learning programs on project management, PMP, Scrum, change management as well. Now, without any more delays, let me jump to our topic with him. So over to you, Ugar. The floor is all yours.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Anshal. Hi, Bhavin. Thanks for your introduction and thanks for this information of PMIUAE. And I'm really glad to see more than 60 people here. It's really a great number. Thanks, everyone, for your time. I'm glad to see you here. I saw people from UAE, Oman, Jordan. It's really, really great to be here. I'm really happy to see you all here. So let me share my presentation and I will start with introduction and agenda and also my introduction. So as Anshal said already, I will talk about citizen development today. And so agenda will be, I will introduce myself and then I will go to the topic about why citizen development is important now, why it's a hot topic now, and the common terms in citizen development and how low code and no code can be powerful behind the businesses, and who is a citizen developer as a person, like who is a persona, and which personas can use citizen development, and citizen development canvas that was created by PMI, and citizen development interaction with agile mindset. So I will try to be in 40-45 minutes, and it will be some knowledge base and some practical information to give during this presentation. So briefly about my background, I joined the projects since 2008, and I am originally from Azerbaijan. So I joined projects, international projects in sport, education, technology, and so many United Nations projects since 2008. And I was delivering different projects till 2016. And for 2 years, I had an educational gap, not gap, like an educational, let's say, break. And I got a scholarship and I went to different European countries, UK, Germany, Belgium, and also Spain and Czech Republic, even 5 countries. So I studied in five different countries. I learned more about ethics and integrity in sport management, but I'm using now it in my project management career. And in 2020, I moved to Doha, Qatar, just a week before the COVID started. So I moved to Qatar for 2.5 years. I worked in World Cup, Qatar Arab Cup, Club World Cup, and I also was dealing with Atos in very complex project, which was intended to be used by 10,000 people. So it was one of the main IT and software program. I was a project manager, product owner. I was working with Atos. And since last year, I have created my own venture. It's called PMWheel, and I deliver PMP courses, PMI ACP courses. I deliver this type of workshops to different PMI chapters, to different universities, students, and I did some consulting in terms of how to build citizen development in the companies, how to be agile, how to do digital transformation. And my last client was Pfizer from US. I did Scrum Master for them for 6 months, which completed just a week ago. So this is about myself. I will put my LinkedIn as well in the, I saw in the chat so many people putting thanks for this. I will also add my LinkedIn when I complete the presentation. And I just have one technical favor from you. If you can scan this barcode or go to slido.com with this code, and I will give it 1 minute here. There will be like just one question: how much you know about citizen development? So you need to rate from 1 to 5. It's by stars, like 5 different stars. You need to put what's your current knowledge and what's your understanding about citizen development. I will just wait for 1 minute and then I will try to show the results, and then we will start our workshop in a minute. I will share my screen to show you the results. We have already the results. I like this. I like this active participation. So as we see, we have more than 22 people already showing active participation. So it's in average. So the score is average 2.5 out of 5. let's give one like 30 seconds and I will just continue our presentation. Yeah, I think we can continue. Thanks for everyone who joined. It will still be open. You can join and put your rate. So as I see, the average is 2.5. So it means half in the middle. So I hope by end of this workshop, we will have more people who know about citizen development and more people who will decide to become citizen developer in their career. So let me continue my presentation. Thanks for all who participated. So let's start. Before going to citizen development, let's clarify why citizen development is important. So the numbers show world needs more software developers because IT decision makers say there's a big challenge to digitally transform the business because of shortage of software developers. But we can see and say that, but hey, regardless, there are so many programs, universities, courses on IT, on data science, etc. But the reality is there is a shortage of developers who can deliver the backlog of the companies, who can deliver the requirements by the business owners. So there will be, only in US, there will be a deficit of 5,000 software developers by next year. It's all the stats and figures by Gartner. Of course, there are now a lot of layoff in different countries, but it's still, they go and find different jobs. So still there's a big gap in terms of how many people needed as a software developer and how many software developers we have in the world. So that's why here comes citizen development as a tool for us. So let me give you the common terms before going to the details of the presentation. So first, let's start with low code and no code. So it's like a development platform. It can be visually generalized platform that let the users to create by dragging, dropping, or by writing little bit of code and creating a mobile or web application. So it's called low code, no code platform. Even if you start to think, maybe you will realize that, oh my God, I was also a citizen developer already. So if you have started to use low code and no code, I will give several examples in my presentation. That's low code and no code. So, but what about citizen development as a term? So citizen development is a business process when business professionals who are not trained in IT discipline, who are not IT and software guys, and they start to create and deploy apps and technology solution to solve the business challenges. Let's say there is some workflow you have, processes you have in your company, but you need to do automation for this. So you, as a business owner, as an end user, decide, okay, I will do my job and I will create an application through using low code and no code. When you do this, or when companies start doing this, it means they already started citizen development movement. Let's go to the next term, which is citizen developer. Citizen developer are the business professionals, are the, let's say, end users in the companies or freelancers who create customized apps using low code, no code tools to solve the business challenges. Then here comes a question. Maybe can the project managers become citizen developers, or can project managers be a force behind citizen development in the companies? And I hope we will find the answer in the next slides. So this is a brief, I got this. So I used in my presentation from PMI, Microsoft, Google, and different sources on low code and no code. So it's like low code, no code take us from this to this one. So if we have in the call IT software developers, it doesn't mean we will change everything from this and to this. So because we need software developers and we need citizen developers. So it's like you start drag and dropping, you use easy platforms and start building different applications or different solutions for yourself or for your company. And what can be the benefits? Benefits can be, it's more speedy, it's more adaptable, and it gives you citizen development. Of course, I will talk about the disadvantages as well, risky parts, but at least it shows like low code, no code tools gives us opportunity to be more flexible and more speedy in delivering solutions. Okay, let's say what the numbers say. So number says, like statistics says, 47% businesses globally are now already using low-code, no-code application platforms. So this stats from last year, November. And 44% of businesses globally are considering already starting to use low-code, no-code application platforms in their daily businesses. And there is another statistics which says there will be 4 times more citizen developers by end of this year, more than professional developers in the world. And in my last slide, you will see there is one business case from very, very famous company. You will be shocked how many citizen developers only one company has in their workforce. Okay, and I have some more statistics by Salesforce. It says 20% of executives surveyed, and they say that more than half of their business applications are already being developed by outside of their IT departments. So it means they're already using citizen development. Maybe they don't name it citizen development, but they already use it as a business process. And one last slide with numbers. By 2024, Gartner predicts at least 65% of all new business application will be created with high productivity tool sets, which means low code and no code application development platforms. And these numbers, even I would say this number will be even increased. This percentage will be increased time by time when we see the real result. Especially now we have IA development, how it can affect businesses and project management. And now I will tell you who are the personas in this low code and no code, let's say, citizen development process in the companies. First, it can be the practitioners, and practitioners are the current or future citizen developers. Maybe the people already in the call, they will become citizen developer who use modern low code and low code application platform to creating new applications. And who can be these people? These people can be students. These people can be subject matter experts. These people can be project professionals, or these people even can be any specialists within the company who need solution and who knows better, like the person who knows the best what they need to solve their issues in the business. So the second group of people, the persona, is business architects. Business architects, they facilitate access to the relevant tools and methods within the company, and they manage the governance process, because it cannot be without control. So if you are a freelancer, you can do, but if you are in the company, if you are within a company, there should be some governance. There should be some sort of control and governance in terms of how you can utilize citizen development tools. So it will ensure effective collaboration between stakeholders in IT and the business. And who can be this people as a business architects? They are enterprise architects. They can be agile coaches. They can be product owners. They can be project managers, or even line managers within functional organizations. And strategists, they create an environment, because whenever we do new challenges, new changes within companies, we need operating environment. We need the company to be ready for this. We need a senior management commitment as well, who will open the doors for the people to become citizen developers, who will give the chances to the people outside of IT to work on citizen development tools. So who can be the strategists? They are the senior management team of the company. So this shows we have a lot of stakeholders in citizen development. So I will show you in the next slides, Canvas, how to start from the scratch and become the mature organization with citizen development. So these people, these strategists should be engage from the start. So if you start using, let's say you decide, okay, my company needs it, we will use citizen development for cost saving, for time saving. So you need to have a commitment by your strategist, your senior management as well. But citizen development is not a new trend. So if we look back in past, even currently in past, there were people who identified ways to improve how they work and how the businesses works. Even I can tell you, 2 years ago when I was working in World Cup, there I was like, osmotic communication. I was hearing back from my other team members. They were telling, I cannot wait IT to do this tool. They were doing some uniform management. And she was telling that I need to find a tool solution. I need some agile tool which can let me to do the stocking and finding uniform, like how much uniform I have, how many uniform we left, etc. Like she was struggling, like she couldn't do it with Excel. And she said she cannot wait IT team to give a solution because she didn't have time, and IT team also didn't have a time. So normally what is happening in companies, people start doing shadow IT. So it's called shadow IT. It's very common, I would say, common term already in the business, more than, I would say, 20, 30 years. So in this case, the people introduce more risky, unsupported, and often poorly designed applications, and they can lack standard of control. So in doing so, like what they can bring to the company, they can create operational risk, they can create key person dependency, and they can create a shadow IT. So that's why now citizen development movement is changing this mindset. So that's why there is a big resistance by IT team in the companies. When you start talk about citizen development, they resist it and they say there will be shadow IT, there will be no control, data security, etc., etc. So many questions are being arised by IT team and senior management. So that's why citizen development, if being introduced to the companies through the let's say strategical way of the company and through the trusted partners, trusted platforms, then the organization and IT team can be relaxed. Okay, it will not bring a risk for us, vice versa, it will bring opportunities for us. And here's a good, I love this table from PMI. It shows benefits of citizen development. So for organizations, for enterprises, it can accelerate new product and service creation. It can drive more efficient processes and automated workflows if you start using citizen development. It can stimulate widespread innovation across the organization, because whenever you start citizen development as a movement in the company, people start to be more motivated to be part of the challenges, to be part of the issues, and to be part of the business. It helped cutting the costs a lot. It helped building resilience in volatile times, and it expedites digital transformation and accelerate project-based work. It's really helping cutting costs and cutting the time. What about IT team? Like what they will get as a benefit? So for IT team, it frees up their capacity. It helped because they have already a big and bunch of backlog of tasks, issues, problems, challenges, calls, tickets, and etc. It mitigates shadow IT risk and improves code quality. So as I told already, when you use trusted citizen development platforms, which is already secure, so you don't bring a shadow IT risk for the company. It elevates the role of IT risk as a safeguard for the organization. So it helps also to elevate this topic within the company. It enhances reusability and reduce maintenance effort, because whenever you have a tool, because platform as a tool helping you maintaining your application which you created, and it increases transparency of application inventory. So if you are using platforms within the company, so there is a transparency, everyone knows which system can be used, who is delivering which application, and how this application can be helpful for the IT and other departments. And for individuals, let's say we are the individuals, we are not IT team, we are project managers, specialists, marketing team, procurement team, finance team, and etc. It can foster a culture of employment through autonomy and ownership. So when we deliver a solution for us, we also get an autonomous ownership on the tools. It allows developers to make changes. So if you're a citizen developer, if you know the platform, how to use it, you will make changes in real time. So your even change control system will be less and less time consuming. It can speed up and simplify turning ideas into apps. I will give one example from my career as well, how it should happen, but unfortunately it didn't happen well because it was not accepted. So it can speed up the turning ideas into apps, and it can provide recognition and enhance career prospects. So whenever the team members, professionals start building apps through the platforms, it will provide recognition for them as well. And it democratizes development for non-professional coders. So because as I said, there's a big movement like coding, even Gartner said in 2012, we are all coders now. I agree, we are all developers now. We develop like constantly, but not everyone can be good in coding. Not everyone can be IT professional to write like distinctive codes, to be very well acquainted with IT and software development. So that's why it can democratize for non-professional coders to use low code, especially on no-code platforms. And this is sum up of pros and cons from Microsoft. They say it can empower business users to create their own solutions. It gives empowerment to the people to create their own solutions. And it can improve engineering resource allocation and scalability. Let's say why it mentions here, because when you have IT team, engineer team, software developers, and support team, they will be more focused on strategical. Let's say they will be more focused on strategical ideas, strategical digital transformation of the company. So if there is a very easy solution, very easy process that can be automated by citizen developers, why to take it to IT team, and why to take their time, and why to wait too long in order to deliver this solution? And it reduced development backlogs. Yeah, whenever you put all the small like requests as a business user to IT team, maybe they will not have a full capacity to deliver it on time. And it delivers iterated solutions quickly. Yeah, because like there are some tools you can make your application just in one day. So you can just drag and drop and bring it to the table, do mock-up and get feedback, and you can have a solution just in one day. Even in one hackathon or one ideathon can be enough for delivering a mock-up or even the draft solution as from the platform. And let's say if you decide, okay, I want to learn more about citizen development, how can I be a citizen developer, and from where to start? So I would say PMI is doing a lot. PMI is doing a lot, as we are also in PMIUAE chapter meeting. I will suggest you trying to check PMI newsletters, PMI database on citizen development, and they have a canvas. I really try to learn more about this canvas, because it's visible as a simple, but it has really a lot of stages and processes within this canvas. And this is a screenshot from Citizen Development Handbook by PMI. It was published in 2021. So in Canvas, it says, so doing citizen development, managing and leading citizen development, and maturity model on strategical level. In doing part, so they mainly focus on how project can be delivered through citizen development. So, and they call it hyper agile software development lifecycle, because it's so hyper agile. It's even agile than agile. So it's called hyper agile. They have a ideation 2.0. Unfortunately, because of timing, I cannot focus on this topic, but whenever you start learning citizen development as a knowledge base, how to start, from where to start, ideation 2.0 is like a new way of new way of doing business analysis, new way of finding business solutions through citizen development. And suitability assessment, this is very important. It doesn't mean all the application, all your business requests, all your issues, challenges, and business requests can be delivered through citizen development. There should be suitability assessment, and it clearly says in this handbook how you can do suitability measurement and assessment. And then capability development, there should be, the company should be, and individuals should be capable doing this. So there should be a lot of trainings, learning programs in order to be capable to start citizen development. And then it comes to manage and leading. There should be operating model. The companies should be ready for it to support citizen development movement. And then organization, on starting from the top to the down, they should be aligned with this process. So they will be managing the change. I have some slides with some points I will show you. So there should be IT governance as an enabler. So when it's required, IT team should support this process. There should be a culture, so you cannot just in one day decide, okay, I am part of this company, I'm building applications through the platforms and everyone will accept it. So there should be a culture within the company. There should be KPIs and reporting, like what KPI will show that your application is successful. There should be transparency and the value tree of citizen development through managing and leading. And maturity model, I will talk about it in my next slide. So this canvas is really like bringing all the process of citizen development, how you can start from learning it, from delivering it, from operating it within the organization, and how become mature company that use citizen development. This is life cycle. So if you are the person who are the project manager or IT software developers, and you know already software development life cycle, it will be interesting to you. So let's say there is an initial idea. There is an initial idea in the business, and in business end users, they want, like, there is a process which is manually with spreadsheets, Google Documents, paper, etc. There is a data like which should be managed better. So there's an initial idea to take one manual process and to make it more automated. So there should be initial idea, then it should be assessed in the spot. So it should be assessed by different stakeholders, and if this is a topic which I told you, suitability assessment. If it's suitable to do through citizen development, if it's not risky, if it's not so scalable, so if it's easy to do, easy to deliver, so it's called fast track pass. So it should go to fast track pass and designed, built, deployed through the continuous feedback from stakeholders by citizen developers. And then it should be transitioned to the support team, and then there can be change process, or it will be utilized by end users. But let's say if it's not so easy to do, there are some risks. So it requires, this is, I would say, no code. If it requires some low code capabilities, so there should be business and value analysis more and more. Then here should be more detailed assessment, and it's called assisted pass. So assemble squad means IT team should help to citizen developers to bring this idea into reality. So it's still citizen development but assisted by IT team. But if detailed assessments show that no way, it's so hard, it's so risky, it's so strategical solution, it's a core part of digital transformation within the company, so you should choose IT delivery path. So this clearly shows you cannot just take all the ideas and do it through citizen development. So because sometimes it can break, it can bring more risks, it can bring more issues rather than solution. So IT delivery path, then they will choose, are they doing a traditional waterfall, agile, or disciplined agile approach? It will be decided by the IT team, or maybe there's already a culture how they do it. So they will choose the way they have done it. So that's why this assessment is so important, to know which path we can choose. If we choose fast track, it's no code. If it's assisted path, it's low code supported by IT. If it's IT delivery path, so it cannot be delivered by citizen developers because it requires more coding, more safety and security in terms of IT and software development. Okay, let's continue. And this is slides, 3-4 slides will be from the canvas, which I said more important to mention, which is managing the change. So when you start citizen development introduced to your company, there will be fundamental change. So there will be change in way of working, culture, governance, business processes, or wider community engagement. So your company and you as a team should know how to manage the change. It's so important. So it's so important managing the change from the start of implementation of citizen development. So those involved must be well versed in effectively launching and adoption of new applications. They should know identifying potential obstacles, and they should know devising strategies to overcome challenges. So because there will be challenges, especially from IT team, there will be challenges. They will not be 100% sure that this citizen development platform can be used. Is it risky? Can we deliver it through citizen development tools or not? So that's why there should be cultural change. There should be a governance change within the companies if they decide to do implementing citizen development. And here comes organizational and enterprise support. If you are senior management from the company, maybe this will be more interesting to you, or if you will decide, okay, I need to take this idea to my senior management. So there should be a support on organizational level. There should be a culture. There should be a new organization culture. So there should be a maybe center of excellence that will support people to become citizen developers. So, or citizen developers can be a champions of change within the company and start this movement for helping company or for helping them as well to bring ideas into reality faster. So there are three possible ways to do so. There should be maybe there can be a citizen development competency center. You can create a community of citizen development practitioners, and you can hybridly structure combining both structures. So it requires a lot of learning, training. So it's not enough only to say, okay, I can use low code and no code, I will deliver application. It's not enough. There should be a cultural and there should be organizational support for the people to use it. And so that's why we need practitioners, we need architects, we need supporters, stakeholders, and senior management in this movement. And one more about support. So there should be a creating space within the company that will allow citizen development that can be scaled and that can be repeatable by the business users. So there can be making change to processes and structures in order to encourage and nurture the practice within the company. Or the companies can start considering how to enable citizen development in a way that it can allow speed and productivity. And it will let the individuals own the end-to-end journey. Because in the end, like when we do business analysis, when we meet with business owners, when we do requirement analysis, they are the business owners and the end users know better what they need. They know their demand and requirements better than anyone within the organization. So, and let's say if the company decide citizen development implementation will start, what they can do. So they should go through the maturity model. I wouldn't say it's like you should take and copy it, but this is one of the best practices by PMI. So it's called Citizen Development Maturity Model, and it describes the 5 stages of maturity level. So first, start with discovery. It doesn't mean discovery of application. It starts with discovery of citizen development. If it suits the company culture, if it suits the company's demands and challenges, then there can be experimentation. There is no need to start citizen development and let's say and decide we do everything, all applications through citizen development. You can experiment one idea, 2 idea, and you can use Ideathon, you can use hackathon and bringing people on the table, bringing stakeholders, and to see how it will work and to experiment how it will work. And then here comes adoptions, and let's say experimentation was successful and you start adoption stage. In adoption, you will do trainings, you will bring different people from different departments, you will do more enlightenment, more encouragement for people to become citizen developers, and then it goes to scaling. In scaling, it will be scaled within the company from different department to another, from one level to another, and scaling it. I will give you a really good example in a few minutes. You will see how one of the company in the world is doing it very successfully. And of course, innovating. So it will help the people to think, to have a design thinking, to have a critical thinking, to become innovative, to have an innovative manner to their needs and requirements, and starting building as much as possible, like applications, doing changes, and having the end-to-end journey. So this is maturity model for the companies. So let's say if you decide, your company decide doing it. So I will give you a brief, like how, let's say if you decide I want to be a citizen developer, how you can take the career way and switch as a project manager or as a business professional, switch to citizen development. And there was some webinar before, like a few months ago, I also attended. It was about how citizen development and agile correlated. Actually, the core finding of the webinar workshop was that agile mindset is already inside the citizen development. So it's not correlated. Citizen development is already agile. So because there is it's from manifest, it's from agile principles, like agile teams must be decentralized and autonomous. So this is one of the principles. And low-code adoption or no-code adoption is driven by decentralization and democratization. So it's already inside. So there is no need. So because when you give the people this opportunity to do low-code and no-code delivery, so you already decentralize, you already give autonomy to the people, and they, like, let's say you are even like a business owner, business user, and end user become like a part of the project already. They start to deliver the project, so there is no need, like sometimes there is no need even to have this big team formation, because business user will be the person, or project manager will be the person who, let's say if you're a project manager, you will gather the requirements and you will do citizen development, or maybe you are a business owner, business user, you will do by yourself. So it's really fast and it's really decentralized, so it's totally agile. And as PMI said, it's hyper agile. So because it gives it's already inherited agile mindset within citizen development. And now real business cases. Before going to real business cases, I want, maybe in the questions we will have, so let me go through the business. I have 3 business cases. So one is Shell. You maybe already recognize from the logo. So Shell started it a few years ago, and they call it do it yourself. So they call it citizen development, mainly used by PMI, but some companies use different naming. So they call it do it yourself, or the DIY software development, let's say, movement. And when they started their digitalization and digital transformation journey, they put it as a critical component. To show you the scale, they have 80,000 employees in 70 plus countries. So the scaling is too high. They started on enterprise and global level. So they did like differently. They didn't start from the department or project level. They started from enterprise and global level DIY software development, and they brought new work culture. They brought a new work culture that adopt and develop apps within the company, and it's aligned with Shell's wider efforts. So it's AI related. They democratize AI and support digital literacy among their staff, not only their IT staff, but their whole staff around the globe. So only 2021, they trained more than 800 DIY developers, let's say citizen developers, and they built 75 applications only in 1 year. And they generated more than $35 million in cost saving for the company only in 2021. Let's say, but what about current status? I took these numbers. There is already in ResearchGate, there is already 1 paper on this. So people already started doing scientific research on this already. So currently there are 6,500 trained developers within Shell, and they have 4,000 employees who actively developing tools, developing applications for their work, daily work. They have organized in 3 years 188 boot camps. They have 170 coaches who are, let's say, trained of trainers. So let's like an agile coach, but they are citizen developer coaches. So they do this training for the staff around the globe. And they have 32 different communities, which is based on the country, based on the field they do, different 32 communities of practice in the Shell. And this number is going up and up. So this is only 1 company, and they have 6,500 people. It's around even 10% of their staff already trained citizen developers. If you search on YouTube, and maybe there were some webinars, workshop even between PMI and Shell, they are one of the successful. Now Nestle is doing it, and some more big names, big companies in the world, they started to bring this as a way of working within their company. I have one more business case. This is not global. This is from India and based on 1 country. So it's RVR project. It's a construction company. What they reached as a result, they have a now single consolidated platform that enabled the company to cut down their vendor selection time by 25% and improve resource utilization by 20%. And of course, they do cost saving. So problem was, for them, the company has been executing large-scale infrastructure projects, and most of the operations happen in project size, include on-field activities. So it includes asset, material management, especially vendor management and procurement, logistic, and inspections. So they didn't do so this is different case. So they didn't do by themselves. They brought outsourced company, which is called Guixi. Quix is a very famous company in low-code, no-code. They help the company to automate multiple and varied business processes, but through low-code and no-code, including budgeting, equipment, material management, vendor management, procurement, logistic management, and HR, all at the one consolidated platform for this company. And outcome was all the key activities that were automated across different departments are on a single platform. Now the solution provides single window access to the top up-to-date status, any project within the company, and all information across multiple projects based on their user privileges. So they have different user privileges. They put the data, all data consolidated. So there's one platform that helped the company cut the time and cut their resource utilization, plus of course, cutting the costs. This is another example. There are a lot of examples. I just choose 3, and I have last one. This is my personal. So I put a failed here. So I will explain why it failed. So it didn't fail because I used it in development, but I will tell you now. So I was working for the company, and the company had a vendor that was working to deliver workforce management system. And there was a requirement to have a change control system within the process in our company, not in the vendor company. And why? Because it was a very important project, and the senior management say they need to, if any business owner, stakeholder require any change, it should go through like change control board. And there was not a system of flow of the processes that will take change request to change control board. So it was on email, and there was not any different tool, any automation for this. And proposed solution, I proposed it. So the proposed solution was utilizing a low-code, no-code tool and building a workflow of change management. So it was 2 years ago. I don't remember exactly the name of the tool, but I even did a mock-up and did a design, and to show how different business users and stakeholders can go to the system and choose the component of the workforce management system and say, okay, this component, I need change, and this is my change request, and put justification, click submit, and then this was going to required senior management, and if it passed from one person, it was going to second, because we had 5 different people who should accept it. So I did it. I did a presentation. I proposed to give access to all stakeholders to train them how to use it. It was very easy to use, and I needed just 1 or 2 days to deliver it. Workflow was prototype and mockup was ready, and I did some talks with senior management and different teams, but outcome was, unfortunately, IT team was very resistant. So they was the first resistant team who didn't agree with using low code, no code, and they was not sure how it will work. And they said, we took responsibility to deliver this solution for you. And okay, I said, I sent them my idea on a paper. And senior management didn't support the use of low code, no code, because they mostly, they think, okay, if IT team is have some doubts on risk and etc., so maybe it's not good to use. But as a result, so what happened? IT team never delivered it. So IT team never delivered any tool, because they were busy with so many strategical things. They were delivering like different tools for the company. So they have a packed backlog, so they could never deliver it. And as a result, me and my colleagues in project management team, we struggled in terms of writing email, going and seeing our senior management, asking their approval, then waiting for email to come. So nothing automated. So of course the project was delivered, I mean the workforce management system, but that component change control system was not utilized, and the project was like delivered a bit like later than planned. And so there were so many issues. So at least this tool should be helping the way of working, but it was not accepted. So looking back at my this example, so I have also like successful cases as well, but I wanted to show you, if senior management not supporting, if IT team, if stakeholders not supporting you, if there's not a culture of using low code, no code, you will have an idea, but if it's not supported, you cannot deliver it. So it's really important to have this mature model in your company, or if you're a freelancer within your business. That was my last business case, and in, let's say, if wrap up, citizen development has a potential to unleash productivity, and it can be useful for the organization, and it makes building application easier, quicker, and safer. And I have been using Microsoft Power App, Microsoft Power Platform, and different very, very famous private companies in terms of citizen development, low code and no code. And so it can be very useful if you start to use it like correctly for your needs, for your company needs. And yeah, the question and answer, I think we can start. Yeah, Anshal. So
Sure,
I'm on
Bhagat.
time, I think. Yeah.
No, definitely. You are just quite right on the money over there. So
Yeah.
very interesting, a new topic to the webinar members. Most of the people, I quite guarantee that have not used it because it's in the nascent stages where industry is still going through the waves of absorption, where the new source of working, including Agile,
Yes.
plus DevOps, now DevSecOps, now coming to AI, part of the generative AI we have seen recently, a lot of changes going through the industry. And this is one of that component which is riding on that waves of changes. So definitely a very interesting topic. I learned a lot from it. I have some takeaways from your session today, but we have some sort of question and answers as well. I encourage all the members, if they have not yet posted their questions, please do so on the Q&A section. Meanwhile, let me just take some questions, Vuga, for us to start attempting them.
And also my one remark, so I will put it here. So
yeah, the Slido.
This is Slido. This is again same, but now it asks how much you know now. So let's see if I was successful to give some knowledge. And so when we started, I saw number, it was 65. Now it's 99. So I'm really glad to see such amount of people here. So let's take questions. Yeah.
Sure. Meanwhile, people, please take this time to vote on the Slido so that we can see the results as well over there. So first one we have from Mr. Surya. His question is that how we can address the challenges of integration. Okay, and that is of course one of my question in my mind, which I came across with the legacy systems, and when trying to use this new age of low code, no code platforms, but we have a situation where we have to work with legacy applications, platforms. Now, how do we integrate these things together?
Yeah. So if you look at my own background and what I have learned, because I'm reading a lot. So it's here it says, so that's why especially for integration part, we need again IT support. So there should be IT support, and because they need to check suitability assessment. So that's why what PMI is insisting on it. So you just don't go and start building the app. So if you will require many integration, if you require a lot of special legacy system implementation, so you should be sure that how it will be done. So maybe it's out of control of citizen developers. So here comes projects managers can be good citizen developers. They can take this responsibility, do suitability assessment, and find the platform and come to the IT team. So IT team at least should advise on this if this platform will be useful in terms of legacy system implementation in future. So here, that's why it should be very mature model. So if you look at Shell, I was reading a lot of cases, how they do it. So they do it hand on hand with IT team. IT team is very supportive. So in my case, you saw IT team never supported me. So if they don't support, so it will not be mature model. So you can build applications, but when you try to do legacy system implementation and integration, you can fail. So my answer, and if you go and search on internet, still this is lack in terms of unit IT team. They need to check the background and security and integration part of this platform and give a green light. Okay, we can use it, and then be sure that it can be implemented within the companies. I can tell you, you can go to PMI website, PMI Citizen Development Trusted Partners. They do a good assessment. They do a very good and high level of assessment, and give a gold tier, silver tier, and which gives you more. You feel more secure while using that platforms and that companies, being sure that okay, because they have a set of certification and license by PMI. So this is one of the topics for PMI. So they already assess it. So that's why using the best cases and using the trusted partners is way better than going and finding any, like seeing a sponsored post and going and using it. It's not safe. So that's my answer to this question.
Thank you, Ugar. I think that was making sense to me as well. So another question we have is from Mr. Dheeraj, that how can we implement this kind of stuff with the matrix type of organization where we share different layers with IT solutions across the problems, and there's a centralized team of IT who has to enable citizen development, and then can it be beneficial to the company in that fragment? Because in matrix organization, we see different sort of challenges you yourself mentioned. All right. So how do you suggest it? Will it be beneficial in the matrix type organization or not? It will be much more suiting to the prototyping kind of new startup kind of organizations where they are doing the line of business applications?
No, when I look at this, like there is now, I just saw before this webinar, I saw first time in my life, I saw a vacancy. It's called Citizen Development Senior Specialist by Nestle in US. So by Nestle and Nespresso, that they started it. But what I see still, they require IT education. So what I'm talking here, it's in ideal, like what I'm talking. So this is in knowledge, in ideal situation, you become citizen developer and deliver it. But unfortunately, still the companies, they require your IT, even your citizen developer, they require you bachelor degree in IT. But actually, citizen development, you don't need to be IT. So it contradicts the definition, and they require like your knowing API integration. Like they require a lot. Like I read that vacancy job description. I was thinking it's for IT developer, software developer, not for citizen developer. So in reality, so it means they still require IT and software, because they cannot just take it and bring it. But it can be for matrix, it can be for functional, it can be even not startups, I would say. But of course, there are so many in my country, in Azerbaijan. I saw even one hackathon. It was hackathon specially for startups using low code, no code. That can happen. But I can give you a shell. There were a lot of companies, like 5-6 companies, they're doing it. None of them is startup. None of them is a simple company. All of them are matrix, very complex companies. But as I said, everything starts, and they do a lot of his IT team. So when I read shell, I can share, I don't know how to, I can share that. It's like a scientific research paper, more than 50 pages, and it explains how Shell is doing it. And Shell is oil and gas. First is their oil and gas company. Second, they are like very global and very matrix and very, very complex company. So if they do it, so it means it can be done, but it should be scaled, and it should be done starting slowly by doing trainings and by building up. But of course, IT team, it doesn't mean IT team will be out of the process. They should be in the center of this process. They should be helpful. It will help in the long end. It cannot be just in one day starting and using it. It will help in long end. So I would say there is no that condition. Only startups can use it. Very complex, big companies already using it. They already using it.
Good. So I think the takeaway from that is that definitely, as you were mentioning and emphasizing it, see, without the support of your advocates as a stakeholder from IT team, if they are on the opposite side of the wall for you, your journey is not going to be easy, no matter you are in matrix or and not, So I think that is very important learning from what we are learning from. We are getting it from you there. So good. We have a few more questions, Vagar. We have a couple of handle questions. So how can a citizen development model can be adopted where there is a development complexities involved, like manifestation of DB performance, tuning of application? Can it really work in those segments, or no? We have limitations around the use cases, how far we can go.
I think as maybe I'm not so sorry for this, because I'm not too much like IT guy, because I was every time project management side. I was product owner, project manager, Scrum. So I was supporting IT team. But what I see in reality, there should be suitable. Maybe I will go to that slide. So there should be suitability analysis. So you cannot take all the ideas and go just let's do low code and no code. Of course, there should be business analysis. There should be detailed assessment, and to see if it can be done through low code and no code. So there is a Power Platform, and also there is one Google platform is being used mainly. And also so still now it's advisable for very easy solutions, very easy, which can be done easily, but IT team, it's better if they focus on very strategical, let's say, initiatives, very strategical issues, which is very core for the company. So if it's daily use of the, like, for example, my case was very simple. Like, it was very important for me because if I had it, so it will be easy for me. But it was not interesting for senior management or IT team. It was easy for me. So it's helping business users. It's helping not IT team. It's not helping IT team. It's not helping mainly or business. It's mainly helping. It's helping IT team in long end when they will have less backlog, but still they need to support. But it was helping me and we as a business users to be more flexible, more automation, more automate process, easy change management process. But for IT team, because for IT, everything is large, complex, everything risky. It's normal. I understand them. But for business users, we see it easily. I was needing it, but I didn't get it. So I struggled in the process, but IT team just do the work. So it's really important to know when you can use it. So it's still use even if you go to Shell, they do it very simple, like vendor management, procurement choosing. There's one guy in Shell, one of the Shell, I think in US, he's a truck driver. He's delivering some stuff between the factories. So he built this application. So now he's checking his daily tracking schedule. So it's still useful for simple solutions, but it will for sure take time by time. So it needs time because automated artificial intelligence is coming. It's already came. So it will take time to be more scaled. So scaling take time. So you should start very easy solutions, very easy use cases.
Yep, I think a couple of questions we are getting it. Those must be easier to answering, but
yeah.
How shall I start my journey as a beginner if I want to develop this learning platform for me for citizenship development? Of course, the answer would be go to PMI. We have a very simple 3 certifications now. Go path by path. What Vuga was mentioning, there's a micro credentials.
Yes.
And against it, you can start from there as a 3 different models. Vuga, I think you've taken the first one already.
Yeah. So I can give information. It starts with foundations. It gives all this information from here, and of course more and more. And the second is practitioner. You can already start building applications. And last is business architect as a high level to start bringing it to the company. And also there is a agreement between PMI and Microsoft. They do Microsoft platform. They even do it for students. So it's really new movement. So there is an agreement but it's for students, but maybe we have students. So if you are a student, you get free these courses free through Microsoft. So it's like there's one program. If you take that, you get Citizen Development Foundation certificate. Also, you get Microsoft Platform Architect certificate. So it's really good, but it's for students for free. So they do a lot, like PMI do a lot in this term. So as I said, you can start by this. I will put my LinkedIn here. You can write me. I can advise you. So, but it's really good to start. It can start slowly. It can start slowly in one solution. It's really important. You need to experiment. When you experiment it, if you see it works for IT, it works for my company, your company, and people in the call, then because it's really doing cost saving, time saving, it's really helpful for business users. It's really helpful for business users to implement. So I saw some questions giving some platforms. I can put a link for PMI. It's trusted partners, and also Microsoft platform. Power Apps is one of the famous one, and PMI is working a lot. And also there's one from Google. I need to find name. They also started to do in partnership with PMI. So they also doing it. So they are one of the famous, one of the reliable ones in the market.
But any platform you came across as an open source so far, Vuga, or is everybody just doing the license platform so far?
No. The point is, if your company if it's okay for you, you can do open sources a lot. Like I was doing open sources a lot, and I'm not sure if I will put one list here. It's called no code list. It's hundreds of platforms, starting from web design, going to your CRM management, and sometimes it's free, sometimes it's very, very little fee, but it's open source. So it's not Microsoft, it's not Google. You just go there. So it depends on your company. It depends on yourself. If you are maybe a free consultant, you want to use it. So there is a lot of tools in the market that you can use, and if it's trusted, you need to to check the review and you can start building it.
So I think I need to, because of the lack of the timing, I would
Yeah.
not do the injustice to the thing, because one important question and challenge, which I think if the people have already their hands on this kind of things, vendor locking. This is another challenge in terms of trying this out. So especially we have this apprehension that basically that if we start with this one as a one tool platform, how we are going to port it to tomorrow to some complex scenario where I need to get away from this particular platform of A, which I use for Microsoft today. Tomorrow I have to go to Mendix, go to Kissflow. This portability really locks you in the vendor area, and then you get into a situation where you have to keep relying on these features getting developed by the vendor. So is there any thought around it you would like to share?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Like based on my experience and like knowledge I got, I didn't got like this point. Maybe this can be like, it should be discussed a lot, because as I said, it's very new. It's new for PMI as well, last 2 years, even after the corona started. So it's so new. So maybe there is, maybe if we go level up level, so business architect, there will be some more like clarification how it can be done. But you're right, if you choose a vendor, it's not easy to go away from their system to another system. Yeah. So it can be, it's because it's still development. So that's a case when you need to scale, when you need to change, you will need to migrate. If no migration, it means you need to do from scratch. So and that's still on the question. Yeah, so it will happen. So that's why Shell is not using one vendor. Shell is using different vendor. Shell is using Shell has a list of platforms. They do like assessment by themselves. They advise, let's use this. Like if you do development of application in terms of CRM, use these platforms. If you do this, so they don't took on one. They never do it, and it's one of the useful way of working, I will say. But of course, we are not Shell. Like Shell is very, very, very rich and very, let's say, global company. But we can slowly start by using maybe open source, trying to experiment it, as I show in the screen now, experimenting and seeing if it can be adapted, if it can be scaled, and then having it within the company. I will show my screen. Let's see how's the result.
Yes, please.
So it's 3.8. It was 2.4. Now it's 3.8. I'm really glad that. So let me see how many people. Yeah, it's around 33. Yeah, it's good numbers. So it's a small effect on the people who joined it. I put my LinkedIn as well in the chat group. If someone wants to connect, I will be happy.
Perfect. Yeah. Good. Thank you so much. I think we are running short of the time, but definitely my important points, what we discussed today with Buga, with your knowledge sharing today, very important change management, culture change would be the potential obstacle. We need to have a buy-in support when we're trying it, scale this especially, right? That is very important part. And your slide of spot was, I think, the masterpiece over there in the whole presentation, because that is the very key slide to really take this to the real practical scenarios. So thank you so much for your lovely presentation.
Thank you.
Here to close this webinar, and then before definitely I do so, I would like all the PMI webinar attendees to let them be aware that we have another webinar coming up on 2nd of March. And the topic would be for us is, there is nothing wrong with being agile, or everything wrong with being agile. So that would be the new topic for us as well, to discuss and to learn some interesting facts about agile methodologies. Please go to PMI website page and the events page. You can register yourself for upcoming webinar. And importantly, I encourage all of you to please register and then try to come to face-to-face event, which we are organizing next month, 19th of March at Abu Dhabi. That would be another interesting event for this PMI UAE chapter. And finally, before we close out, a big shout out to all our friends in marketing team who are responsible for posting all this brilliant media information and social media posts and on the event page on the website. And before we close, definitely I'd like to thank all of you for your attendance and participation, friends. And we won't say goodbye without thanking the rest of the PMI UAE chapter volunteers who has been giving us all their support on these webinars, including the colleagues from membership, outreach, volunteering, and finance and governance part. Finally, behind the camera, Olimud Jones and Bhavin, thank you so much, with our events director, Rosanna. So this is Anshul going to sign off for today, and thank you so much. and looking forward for next webinar session on 2nd March. Thank you. Good night. Thank you, Bogar.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for good comments. I was really happy to see it. Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, friends. Take care. Good night.